Hi, good morning, my dudes. It is the butt crack of dawn right now, aka 6 a.m., and I'm getting ready to be a vendor at my first ever artist alley in Bruce County, Ontario. And I want y'all to take a moment to admire my fit. I wore this dress specifically because it matches my table theme as well as my hair. Honestly, I just want to look cute and pink for the girlies. Everyone in my house is asleep right now, so I said goodbye to my fan club right here and did a once-over of my disgusting art room that I tore apart the night before. I truly don't think I've been up this early in years. It was also extra moist this morning, but that did not stop me. I went to go pick up my posse, which includes my friend Migs Inc., who is tabling next to me today, as well as my boyfriend. And we started the long 2.5-hour journey to Bruce County. Now, some of you might be like, why are you doing a convention 2.5 hours away from your urban paradise of Toronto, Ontario? And to that I say, the table was so cheap. Most tables at conventions go upwards of like $100. The Bruce County convention tables were only $30. And I did my calculations and figured with $15 for gas, $45 isn't a bad gamble for a first-time convention. But to get there, we did have to go through the okie smoky parts of Ontario. We saw these bikers that are apparently in a brotherhood, made me raise an eyebrow. We also traveled through a very small town that kind of gave me the vibes of like It. I thought Pennywise was gonna come around the corner, you know? Also, I would just like to say, I ended up having to do all the driving this day because neither my friend nor my boyfriend have their license. I don't know what it is about people in Toronto, they just don't like driving, so I ended up having to pull up my big girl pants and do all this driving through the okie smoky farmlands. We ended up being a little late because we got stuck behind a few giant trucks, which I'm sorry, if you have a truck and you're driving below the speed limit, get off the road. Me and my little Mazda, we got places to be and Bruce counties to vend at. But eventually, we made it to Bruce County. Me and my posse did pull up a little late, so it was kind of a mad dash to set up. I had a solid half an hour to set up, which is not enough time. I'm a Capricorn. I need at least like an hour and a half to make sure everything's perfect. But huge shout out to my boyfriend who did a lot of the heavy lifting and building for me. My display was being held together with dollar store duct tape, but it did end up looking pretty cute in the end. Was 100% my vision? No, nothing will ever be. But it was good enough. Also, somehow at this point, Bruce County had formed a giant line around the building and onto the street and were shuffling in like walkers from The Walking Dead. The place was poppin'. There was people everywhere I looked. I made back my table fee in the first 10 minutes. Also, one of my table neighbors had a TV head. And before I knew it, giant Eevee head showed up with Spider-Man. And then I heard my boyfriend squeal like a little girl and saw Brampton Batman cruising the aisles. I had no idea what was going on. My cash box was filling up very quick, and I was running on nothing but a Tim Hortons bagel and a Celsius I smuggled in my bag. Not to mention, this convention was also so freaking hot. I hate summer, I'm Canadian, and me and my boyfriend ended up having to make makeshift fans out of the paper that my friend bought, because it was the only way we could survive. Anyway, this con was way busier than I thought. My boyfriend took this video of me doing my thing at my booth. The first 3 hours, it was constant. I was getting a sale every second. I could not breathe. I could not leave my booth for a second. It was exhilarating, but also terrifying. By far, my most popular print was my yassified Furby. I was also a little offended. Spider-Man took a picture with other vendors, but not me. Anyways, the con was way busier than I thought. My suitcase was a mess. I ran out of capsules to fill my mini claw machine with. I had some people play that thing like 5 times. I was so surprised. I also sold out of a few pins, but no one bought my Garfs. I would have bought a Garf pin. But nonetheless, I think it was successful. But before I knew it, it was time to pack everything up and head home. I was kind of relieved though. Towards the end, the con was smelling a little stinky because of the heat. So me and my posse, we packed up and got ready for the journey back. My friend Migs even had to go into man bun mode not to die. But honestly, I was on a high on the way home. I had never felt this proud of myself. The con went great and the people were so nice. And shout out to Bruce County for actually being nice to their vendors. Some cons don't do that. When I got home from my journey, I decided to count my Monopoly money. And after adding all that up with the payments I took from Square and subtracting the cost of the table and the gas to get there, as well as the float I took out, I made a profit of $407, which honestly for my first con, I think is pretty good. I checked off Bruce County on my makeshift whiteboard, and I ended the night with some snacks. I had a crispy, crunchy apple and some of my mom's homemade chicken pasta. I also ended up sleeping for 14 hours after this convention. But thank you guys for watching. I'll keep you updated on other cons I'm doing later this year.